Finally, it appears we may be getting something in the WNBA that some of us have been longing and calling for. We know the referees were an absolute joke in this league. They were awful. They didn't call any fouls. You had people getting their nose busted open, blood all over the floor with no whistles being blown. We watched Caitlyn Clark get the living life beat out of her every game, being targeted and not getting any foul calls. The girl can't get to the free throw line to save her life because they refuse to call fouls for her. And it appears, shout out to Rachel Demita. She had Annie Costable on. I recommend all of you.
They said it, the league is finally moving. After months of outrage and clear evidence, the WNBA is now actively working to bring in new, more qualified referees to create a better and safer game. This major development comes as a direct response to the disorder and unfairness seen on the court, particularly the repeated targeting of Caitlyn Clark. The previous officiating crews were widely criticised for allowing excessive physical play, leaving players unprotected and fouls uncalled. The era of unchecked aggression, especially toward the league's brightest star, may finally be coming to an end, signalling a long overdue shift for players and fans alike.
Girl can't get to the free throw line to save her life because they refuse to call fouls for her. And it appears, shout out to Rachel Demita. She had Annie Costable on. I recommend all of you go watch this interview at full length. Annie Costable addressed that the players in the WNBA is looking to bring in new referees, more qualified referees to create a better and a safer game. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. Let's go over to Rachel Demita. Shout out to you. You doing your thing. Let's take a listen at what Annie Costable had to say on Rachel Demita's Courtside Club.
For far too long, Caitlyn Clark stood as a clear example of a broken system. Game after game, she faced constant physical pressure and was openly targeted by opponents. Yet those fouls were rarely called. It reached a frustrating point where she struggled to earn trips to the free throw line, not because contact was absent, but because officials consistently swallowed the whistle. This disregard for fairness and player safety did more than affect her scoring. It changed the flow of games and left fans disappointed, tuning in for high-level basketball, but instead witnessing overly physical play go unchecked. The backlash grew louder, forcing the league toward a moment of reckoning.
Had to say on Rachel Demita's Courtside Club.
What do you think is the biggest thing, just as far as the product on the floor? Because a lot of people talk about physicality. A lot of people talk about the referees. I actually did a deep dive in one of my episodes talking about like who the referees are calling to, essentially, and where the W gets their referees. But as far as the product, because at the end of the day, fans are not going to stick around if it's not a good product, period.
Right.
Like, they have to be there for the basketball. And I think a lot of casual fans got pulled into the W because Caitlyn had such a...
Truth behind this possible change surfaced during a key interview on Rachel Data's show, where Anna Aistable delivered a critical update. She confirmed that players across the WNBA are calling for an overhaul, acknowledging serious flaws within the current officiating system. This is not about one player alone. It is about protecting the integrity of the sport. The discussion made clear that the on-court product was suffering, and fans, especially casual viewers drawn in by Caitlyn Clark's exciting style of play, would not stay if games continued to feel poorly officiated and overly physical. This reality highlights the business pressure now pushing the league toward reform.
Gets their referees. But as far as the product, because at the end of the day, fans are not going to stick around if it's not a good product, period.
Right.
Like, they have to be there for the basketball. And I think a lot of casual fans got pulled into the W because Caitlyn had such a different game that was like just very, very exciting to watch. And she's an incredible player. So they're there. Now they're seeing this product. They're like, oh, this is cool. There's other players that I'm like getting super invested in. But a lot of people have called out like physicality, referees. Have you heard anything from players, owners, like any of your sources about them actively working on improving the product?
Yeah, I mean, officiating.
The officiating problem stretches well beyond Caitlyn Clark's rookie season. Coaches around the league have voiced frustration over inconsistent refereeing for many years, long before the current spotlight. This includes respected figures such as coach Cheryl Reeve, known for her intense reactions on the sideline. Even as far back as Candace Parker's rookie season, similar concerns were raised after repeated no-call situations. This history shows the issue is deeply rooted, not a sudden development. What makes this moment different is the level of attention now focused on the league, finally forcing action on a problem that was ignored for far too long.
On the league now is forcing the league's hand, because all these years that they've been like, yeah, we're doing enough. Like, again, we've been asking in press conferences for years, like, what's up with this thing, right? And so now, again, the microscope is so fixated on the league that they have to answer these questions and they have to do better. And so, yes, the officiating has been a problem. It was a problem. It will continue to be a problem until they treat the hiring of these officials as, again, the same way they treat the players in terms of making this like a lucrative.
The massive surge of new attention on the WNBA, largely driven by Caitlyn Clark's arrival, has completely changed the landscape. Where the league once brushed aside concerns with vague reassurances, it now operates under constant scrutiny. Every questionable call, every missed foul, and every moment of excessive physical play is analysed by millions. This non-stop pressure is finally pushing the league to respond. Ignoring long-standing problems is no longer an option, as continued inaction risks turning away new fans and slowing the league's historic growth.
The women's game is always just going to be a little bit more physical there. However, I see with Adam Silver and what he's done in the men's game, like I've just seen the NBA adapt so much. And again, like I said, I've been covering the NBA for over a decade now, so I've been more in tune with it. But he protects his superstars because he knows that they have to stay on the floor. Like, and that's why I've always been one who's been like, yes, Asia has a good whistle. She should have a good whistle. She's earned a good whistle. Like, she should be protected as a superstar, and she's also kind of morphed her game into making sure that she gets those calls. But that's the one thing where I feel like there's been a disconnect in the W is like you have.
At the heart of the issue, according to insiders, is not just individual referee performance but deeper structural problems within the officiating system itself. High-level officiating cannot be expected when pay is limited, development systems are weak, and there are few incentives to attract top talent. Simply put, investment matters. For years, the league failed to properly support its officials, leading to ongoing inconsistency and declining trust. This lack of commitment has directly affected both the quality and safety of the game. Addressing it will require a serious, league-wide overhaul.
Should be protected.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on the sense that stars earn a special whistle. We see it in across leagues, and there's validity to the fact that you protect your star players to a degree because of the importance of them being available and being on the floor. And so my question is more so, is it an issue of changing certain rules, or is it an issue like would officiating fix a lot of this that we're seeing in regards to the